Hello, I'm Paula Dollarhide. Welcome to another in our series of Advising Brown Bag Colloquia. Today we have a panel presenting what career communities can do for you. Pat Donahue and Dana DeFiore from Career Center are here, along with Tara Marsh, Internship Coordinator for the Hospitality and Tourism Management Studies major, and Peg Slusser, who is Associate Professor of Health Science. We welcome today the set of panelists and their insights into how we can address student careers after leaving Stockton.
So goals for today, learning outcomes, if you will. We are attempting to share with you what career communities are. They have been a model in the Career Center we're now in our second year, but it has been playing out in certain ways that we hope will become more concrete and make more sense to you, and the synergies of them, and the specific communities that we have here at Stockton so that you are familiar with them regardless of the students that you work with or advise. The synergies of a focus on their careers, not their majors. I think we all understand this principle, but it helps to see how that plays out in the world of career exploration. And then examples of successful collaborations between career advisors and faculty in bringing students into these communities and helping them engage actively. So this is a poster which is collectively all of our different career communities. So we have public and social services. That includes government, it includes not-for-profit social services, and again, coming under many different majors, but aiming at not where they are, what major they are in, but what career they are interested in. Another category is law and politics, certainly an area that bridges many, many majors at Stockton. Science, technology, engineering, and math. We have arts, entertainment, and communication, education, business and hospitality and tourism, and health sciences and medicine. So these, and we also have one that is working with undecided students, undeclared students. So just to give you an example of how this, the career community idea works, for example, in law and politics, we know that there is I believe there's a concentration in the political science area for pre-law. However, our career advisor in this area, Patrick Burns, also says that the majority of our pre-law students come from the arts and humanities, the School of Arts and Humanities. They are sprinkled throughout the campus, but they are not maybe typically where you would find them, and therefore we have this particular career community has the synergy of embracing the students' interests regardless of what school they are in. Another example would be the area that I work with, health sciences and medicine. Yes, the vast majority of students are working within the health sciences. These are our students who are going on to grad schools for occupational therapy, physical therapy, some of the allied health professions. But there are also students in the sciences who are going into medicine, who are going into physical therapy also. There are students in other majors throughout the campus who are going into medicine. There are prereqs, but there are no requirements for where they might be housed in a school. So these are examples of communities that are broadly based. We have taken this model from, this is a growing trend, I would say, in the field of career advising. There are schools like Stanford, UVA, Rutgers, who have gone to this model. We have taken a look and said, this makes sense to us, and certainly those of you who advise students, this model should make sense to you. So, how do they find us? How do they join a career community? One of the ways that we capture them is through the Career Center. Every time someone comes in for an appointment or they just zip in, today we had drop-ins this morning, they register on Stockton Works. They now become part of a system, a database where we can talk to them. They also self-identify as to a career community. They can choose any of them, they can choose all of them, some students do, but it is their call which community they would like to place themselves in. And Also through faculty interaction, which is why we have two of our very good partners with us today to talk about how that interaction functions, the different ways that we work with them to make students aware of these career communities. And through clubs and campus events. Again, those clubs represent the interests many times more specifically. They reflect the career communities that the students are working within. So if you are working with a student, again, they're going to encounter the career community model when they come in to see us. But if you go to the careers, www.stockton.edu/careers, you will come to this page and you will see the Stockton Works icon up there on the right, and we'll talk about that in a minute, and you will see the Join a Career Community also. So all students have to do is click on that. It's one click, one link gets them there, and one click will get them to career communities or to Stockton Works. So I hope that many of you are familiar with Stockton Works. That is a very robust system that we have. It is a database that includes employers, jobs, internships, events like the career fairs career and internship fairs we do twice a year. If you can see by the toolbar up there, the blue toolbar, employer directory, job search, career events, and mentors, as well as things, the everyday tools of the Career Center that include resume templates, how to do a cover letter, how to practice for interviewing. So students can find Stockton Works on their own. It is available to them 24/7, but certainly when they interact with us, we place them in here. And I know as the career advisors, we also drive activities that get students to want to sign up for Stockton Works for their own reasons. And when they do click on Join a Community, here's what they get. Major does not equal career, and they can see each of them. If you click on these, there will be a description of them. And also, why join a career community? What's the point? So they can even find this on their own. Taking advantage of specialized services, programs, events, customized to meet your specific career development needs. And my colleague Dana and I will be talking more about our own roles as career advisors and how this model of the career community has changed how we work with students. So, that said, Dana and Tara will talk about their experiences. Thanks.
Hi. Just a little bit more of an introduction. I am the advisor for the Business, Hospitality, and Tourism Career Community. So in some of the ways that we're going to talk about how we partner together, I do want to say that there are other things that I'm doing in terms of connecting with clubs and organization as an advisor, and also acting as a preceptor to first and second year students who are interested in majoring in business. And I've been with the institution for almost 10 years, and I'm really enjoying working more in a specialized role with this population.
Hi, I'm Tara Marsh, and I am the Hospitality and Tourism Internship Coordinator for the Hospitality Program, which falls under the School of Business. If you're not familiar with it, I'm actually an undergrad of Stockton, as well as have my graduate degree from the university, but I come back in a role that was developed a year ago to help the students, excuse me, with their required internship for the program and helping them with their placement. So I work very closely with Dana when it comes to looking at opportunities for students in what they can do.
And so we're just going to outline some of the ways that we've been able to partner over the last year or so.
Okay, so checks and balances, and I'm going to talk a little bit about this. If you're not familiar with our program, for hospitality, they're required to have two different work experience components. Not only the internship itself, but we have a professional work experience component where it's a 0 credit, but they're required to do 400 hours in the industry. This is something they can bring in if they're just starting, that they might have done when they were in high school, an experience that they talk with their preceptor about to see if it's an acceptable experience. And it also may be something that they do while they're in their first or second year, so freshman, sophomore year, maybe while they're taking classes, or even during the summers and working in the industry. So we want to make sure they're getting that exposure to the industry. So again, they're required to do 400 hours, and then they're required to do a 3 to 5 page reflection paper. But the biggest component that ties us back to the Career Center and to Dana specifically that we work with and our faculty preceptors do is they require them to get their resume checked over by the Career Center, approved, and uploaded into a Stockton Works account for them. So that ties into our professional work experience, which then ultimately helps them when it gets to their internship for the program. Okay. Yeah.
All right, so Tara and I like to consider ourselves a one-stop shop, whether they're meeting us in the Career Center or whether they're meeting in Tara's office. So that means 100% shared information and really developing an expertise in each of our areas. So I've really taken the time to understand the curriculum sequence that Tara just talked about. This way, if maybe a new student's coming into my office, I can speak to them a little bit more about the whole process and not just siloed in the career aspect of things. Tara, at the same time, has really taken on understanding all the functions of the Career Center, all the programs that we can offer students, and she is messaging in the same way that I would message to students. These are the steps on how to start writing a resume or how to start thinking about your job search. This way, we feel like we're creating and communicating a cohesive message to students in both of our areas and really sharing, like we said, that information. So we also like to say, in terms of this one-stop shop and shared information, that we centralize all the knowledge that we have. So anytime one of us is working with, say, an employer who's interested in recruiting candidates, we are both messaging to them the place to get started would be to post on the Stockton Works system, okay? This way she's not working with a list and I'm not working with a separate list. We both can, again, go to students and say, here's one centralized place where you can find all the information that both of us are knowledgeable of. And so we do that through the Stockton Works system. We also do that, as you can see on here, through social media, as well as different listservs. We both have access to different clubs and organizations, so we're posting on their social media sites. A couple other ways that we do this is Tara has the opportunity to really do a little bit more outreach to employers. So as she's going out to site visits and introducing the curriculum and introducing students and opportunities, she's also saying to them, again, the Stockton Works system, you know, do you have a profile with us? This is the tool that our institution uses to centralize information. So she's sharing them that same site that our office uses, and any literature that we have, she's taking with her to these site visits to support, again, centralizing that information. She's also messaging our career and internship fair. She knows that it's one of the largest events that we have on campus to bring employers here to help them recruit for various roles. So in addition to saying, here's a tool to post the job, here's another tool to engage physically on campus and network with students. So we give her all the information so she can take it with her and advocate for these type of opportunities, and then we can, of course, support her. One of the other things I think we do well with the hospitality program is we're always reevaluating and assessing where we are. So when we're thinking about the career fair, we're pulling up lists from previous years and saying, you know, are these folks registered already? Is there a reason why they're not registered? Who else do we need to target? What other additional specialized communication can we give to these employers within our career community? So, you know, we've done that for this event, specifically for the event coming up on February 23rd, and we have over 25 specific hospitality employers coming, which is huge for the number of students that we produce in that program. And I think it's definitely through some of those programs, you know, that we talked about in terms of looking at that list and doing additional outreach specifically for those folks. So again, I just want to reiterate, one-stop shop. For us, that means 100% shared information, and I think it's something that we have done well over the last year.
Yeah.
All right, this is just another example of a tool that we use to put information out to students, faculty, and staff. This is actually something that every advisor who oversees a career community puts together, and it's a monthly newsletter newsletter, and you can find this on the website, and we obviously push it out through social media and some regular listservs and other avenues, but this is what the Business, Hospitality, and Tourism February newsletter looks like, and it's just another way to push out content that's specific to students in that particular career community. All right, and I'm going to take the first part of this when we talk a little bit about our programs and special events. So, we love to connect in the summer and say, what can we do for our community? What kind of programs are we looking at for the fall and the spring? And we hopefully break things up where it doesn't seem too overwhelming to students, and hopefully we're offering them some quality program. And this is just an example of some of the things that we've been able to do over the last year and a half since we've had a career community. And one of those things, it's not represented on here, but one thing is career center presentations. This kind of goes along with the one-stop shop and the checks and balances, where faculty are inviting us into the classroom and having us present to students on resume writing, cover letters, job searching, career fair prep. When we talk about the hospitality sequence, there is a career development class, and you'll see the Career Center in that class probably 3 or 4 times alone, just talking through some of the basic principles of career exploration, job searching, and internship searching. So that's one of the things that the hospitality, all of the hospitality faculty have really engaged with our office and inviting us into the classroom again so we can get out a consistent message on all of those different topics that I identified. Another thing that we try to do is offer what we call an employer in residence once a semester. That's something that's hosted through the Career Center, and basically we invite an industry expert to visit campus for the day, and we try to build a robust schedule for them to engage with students, faculty, and staff throughout the day. So we shoot to have that maybe once a semester.
Okay, and to continue on this, and if I can backtrack just a second here and definitely be a huge advocate for those Career Center presentations in the classroom, I also have the opportunity to teach on an adjunct level in the program, and they are a huge benefit. So if you ever have that opportunity to add that into a component of your class, definitely do that. They were a huge help to me because I had the opportunity to teach the career development class last semester, which segues into our internship and is a requirement for our students to take. Great for resume building, networking skills, and all of that. So that brings us to a couple other special events and things we like to do. Widener University offers a hospitality-specific career fair. It is in fact taking place tomorrow, and we like to take students that are interested in going up as a group to be able to have that opportunity to network with employers directly in the industry. So we do some special events on that side, trips for a better sense of the word. And then the next thing that we like to do, here in the center here, you can see our hospitality alumni networking and career panel. And this is something that we do every spring. So I have the opportunity to be involved in my second one this particular semester. But this is where we bring in our industry alumni to network and speak to our current students. And it's great. It's highly received by the students. They love it. And we try and get a couple of classes and work it into an actual class module so we can get somewhat of a guaranteed audience in there, but it's open to all of our students. And our one for this semester is coming up Monday, April 3rd, and it takes place from 6 to 8. And then our last piece that we like to do in the program to tie into the career fair itself here, a lot of our professors will make that a requirement for their class and have their students go to the career fair to have this opportunity to network again with more employers in the industry. I know the career development class makes it a requirement because it takes place on the days that the career fair is taking place. And again, they give them some incentives, I'm sure, require some feedback, write-ups and stuff like that. I had my class go to it last semester and it was great. And we've seen that number of employers grow over the last couple of years. So we just keep positively telling that to our students to get them to come, dress professionally, get the chance to start to talk to employers, get a little more comfortable with that networking, and then obviously see their peers and everything as well. Okay? Oh, it's me again, right?
Yeah, it's you again.
All right, so on the horizon, we like to call this pretty much like our wish list of sorts, some things that we still want to continue to do, build on, and those kinds of things. One of the things is we talked about, we did this last summer, we did a joint visit to our employers, to some of the employers in the Philadelphia area, and we'd really like to get that again. Dana and I went out, visited with employers who haven't done actual internships in the past, maybe get their interest and find out if they'll have opportunities for our students. So again, something we would like to target, and we did it during the summer and the slower time. Obviously, we have students out in the field already, but some more opportunities to bring to the table when the semester starts in the fall, hopefully through the next academic year.
Can I just add something
Yeah?
to that? Yeah, I think the employers that we visited really appreciated having a representative from the academic side and from the Career Center, because we can obviously both talk about our expertise, where Tara shared the courses that they were taking and the skill sets that they were developing from those classes, and I can talk a little bit more about how to get those opportunities out there to students, what system we were using, and what type of networking events we had on campus as well. And it worked really well. Everyone was very excited. I think everybody after that event at least posted the position with us, and we do have Spirit Cruises is actually visiting for the career fair this year, so we're excited to have them on campus. And I think that's a direct result from both of us going out and doing those site visits together.
Yeah, and we visited, in that was some of our alumni that were at these different industries, and they're always some of our first that obviously want to hire our students, so that's a good thing. But then again, establishing even newer relationships as well. Some other things we do, attending industry events. So going back to the Widener career fairs, not only just an opportunity for the students, but an opportunity for myself as the internship coordinator, as well as our career fair. And then we have another one that's actually coming up that's at the University of Delaware at the end of the month, going ourselves and actually networking with the employers. So that lets them know there's a face back to these internships that are getting offered to their students, and maybe there's a central actual connection to the university there. And then another thing, a potential for growth, and we all know the great Atlantic City expansion that's going to open up in the next year, so we want to continue to grow that piece of it because that's such a highly hospitality saturated market. So I think another thing we'd also like to see is just how we can continue to kind of get our information out to our students, what's the best ways and avenues. And then they know, overall, our students, especially in hospitality, they know they have Dana and I as a support to them, so we're always here.
Thank you. You guys are up.
All right. Do you wanna... Oops. All right. I think Peg's going to lead us off with the first part of this, but I wanted to, I'll reintroduce myself, Pat Donahue, career advisor to the Health Sciences and Medicine community. And Peg and I heard you mentioning that you meet in the summer. Peg and I meet at Dunkin's for coffee. I don't know why we don't meet at the beach, because we both are beach people in the summer. So we ought to think about doing that this summer. But we wanted to cover certain areas. Faculty interaction?
Hi, I'm Peg Slesser, and I am the coordinator of the Bachelor of Science in Health Science program. We have a lot of students. We're the biggest undergraduate major on campus now, and we continue to grow. And our students, for the most part, come to us with delusions of grandeur. They are all something. They're healthcare providers. They're usually OTs, PTs, nurses, speech-language pathologists. Those are the main ones, but we have chiropractors and dietitians. We also have mortuary assistants, and they just want to be all these things. So we have a problem with preparing them both through academic advising and the Career Center, because what exactly is a Bachelor of Science in Health Science degree? And with the competition out there for getting into these graduate programs, what can we do with our students to prepare them for the possibility that they may not be successful, or they may change their mind, that there are more careers in healthcare than just being a PT, an OT, a nurse, a doctor. So we started that conversation. We had something like this diagram that shows you just a tremendous amount. There are so many areas of healthcare, everything from business to bedside. And now we have healthcare navigators because people can't even navigate the healthcare system. Healthcare providers can't navigate the healthcare system. We actually need somebody who understands insurance and providers and who accepts what, and so healthcare navigation is a whole new career. We also have students, when we talk about crossing these career communities, who are interested in healthcare, but they want to be a nurse on a cruise ship. And so that our students can really, healthcare is everywhere, and they have so much more of a global perspective. So we try to give them, from an advising standpoint and a career center standpoint, you really should have plan B. And what are your capabilities and what are your chances? And so some reality. And the Career Center, the Career Center and academic advising hand in hand with faculty, because the faculty in our program are very diverse, and the faculty who advise our students are from all of the programs in health sciences. So they too are very diverse, but our students come to us asking questions about programs we don't know anything about. So we all need a lot of help. So we started a lot of these conversations. We have two main areas of need, and we have two courses in our curriculum that prepare the students for their careers, basically. They used to both be called Introduction to Health Science 1 and 2. Now we've changed them a little. But in the first course, Introduction to Health Science 1, the students really get a look at some of these core competencies, and one of them is roles and responsibilities. So what can they do? And we as faculty would talk about how to get into a DPT program or an OT program or a second degree nursing program. But it was so much more than that. What can they do with their degree? And when the students would show up at the Career Center or show up at academic advising or come for precepting, regardless of who they went to, what else could they possibly do? So we needed a broader array of things to talk to them about. So we brainstormed and we talked about what we were doing as faculty and what the problems were on the other side, because they had no plan B. And so how could we connect our students and get them to think about what the other opportunities were? And so we decided to have the Career Center, so Pat goes into our first course, Introduction to Health Science 1, and talks about those other career opportunities that you could do with this sort of a degree. And we've set up career panels, and this has been just, would you like to say how easy it is to set up these panels? Because there aren't people out.
Easy.
How do you get it seems like you could get a nurse and a doctor and a PT. We don't want that. We want people who have a Bachelor of Science in Health Science who've been successful finding positions in healthcare that are not the standard positions. So we found Pat has become a detective.
It's been my life's work, let's face it. I was delighted to be assigned the health sciences and medicine area, but this is where we lose sleep. What can someone do with just a bachelor's? Yes, everybody's going to be an OT-PT nurse, doctor, freshman year, first year, but by junior year, they've hit organic chem or calculus 2 or whatever it is that says, not going to happen. So putting the career panels together was hard. This field is like the new accounting. I think parents are saying to their children, go into healthcare, it's never going to go away. So Peg knows it has grown exponentially. Advising knows this, we all know this. So where are these students going to go for bachelor's? So by giving me access to all of her classes, all of the intro classes, Peg has given me the gift of talking to how many? 1,000 students? Including transfer students, all coming in and giving them a message. Get experiences, get internships, get shadowing, whatever it is you want to call it, get these experiences. Consider a minor, because business, if you're going to go into the administrative side, a minor or a minor in a second language, oh wow. And the third message is, please sign up for Stockton Works, because now I can talk to you. That has been just a tremendous gift. Even after these panels, as hard as they were to find students, grads who were working, as Peg said, not in the allied professions, the hands-on, but in general BSHS degree, that their degree prepared them for, I'm also saying, please sign on to Stockton Works so I can talk to you early and often in your career at Stockton. It's been a gift.
So we plant the seed early on that there may need to be a plan B, and also Pat's suggestion about experiences. So she also talks about the mentoring network and a lot of the context that you can get through Stockton Works. And then, lo and behold, later on in the curriculum, we moved to Health 2501, which is now called Teamwork and Collaboration. Now our students are, for the most part, the students in this course are juniors and seniors. So they've moved away from that first blush of getting here and being and a little more reality is set in. Some of them, many of them, are still on path. They're still on target. They're still preparing for graduate school. And we certainly encourage that. Those students are probably, we're in a program that doesn't have practicums or internships. So many of those students need to find shadowing hours and practicums out there independently. So that is one, and they truly are independent of us because our students do not have health clearances, so we can't facilitate those in any way because it gets confusing. So our students need to do that, and they also need to have that plan B sort of in better shape. And now they're looking at graduate schools, and now they have some serious questions. And so Pat and I had met about this, and what do we want to do to move them along at this stage? Again, they need career options. Many of them are looking for employment that they can do while they're undergrads. Many of them want shadowing hours. And we wanted reality to set in a little bit. So Pat and I we got together and we decided that we would do this informational interview assignment, which is relatively simple. It's also relatively low weight as far as grade goes in this course. And we boiled it down. It used to be much more complex.
Oh, yeah. That was me.
So in collaborating and in working together, we've found something that works for the students, and they have this short little rubric where basically, again, they're forced to register for Stockton Works. They actually get points for that. And it is such a good resource for them. So that is part of that. If they haven't done it yet, they will do it now. Pat comes in, and she basically teaches them how to do that elevator speech, which they will need to get their shadowing hours or their foot in the door for this interview. And if you want to talk just a little bit about that.
Sure. The informational interview is a basic tool in our toolbox, and specifically for what intrigued me with the health sciences, that you've got this. I had to write this down: core competencies for interprofessional collaborative practice. There's a set of letters, but there are outcomes that embedded into all of the health science programs where students going into healthcare need to have certain competencies. One of them, I think, that came out of this was communication, and obviously also teamwork, working in a team. So an informational interview requires them to go and talk to someone in their field, not someone thinking of going into the field, not someone who is an aide whose job does not require a degree, someone working in the profession that they intend to go to. This is not about how much money are you going to make, what is the demand for the job. They already know this. They've done their homework in 1101, the intro class. This is about qualitatively and we, again, through trial and error, I like to make it complicated, I guess, and Peg is the experienced faculty person. Something new I learned about the profession when I interviewed this person. What did you learn that you didn't know already? So this is qualitative, and the other thing was specific advice that you got from this professional. Now, folks who are heading to grad school, they're still in the zone of being able to gain experience. What kinds of experiences? So we kind of guided them into the types of questions that they should ask. And then, what, if any, value did I receive from doing this assignment? I think you had some feedback from students that it was a worthwhile exercise.
Yeah, this course is chock full of things they need to do. It's also a service learning course. And this is one more thing that they need to do. So that what is the value of this assignment has been really reinforcing that this is an important assignment. They actually get to go and talk to someone who's working in the profession, and they get all sorts of things in the line of advice that they never thought of before. And they say this is one of the most valuable assignments in the whole entire course. Plus, they really do utilize the Stockton Works resources so that they can find shadowing experiences, so that they can connect with other professionals to ask more questions as they get out there. And even in interviewing, they find this to be really valuable. And I have them asking people about questions about teams and teamwork. You know, how can you be on a team where you don't even know who the team members are, or you never talk to them? And that's generally what a healthcare team is. Just a whole bunch of people who never talk to each other. So our students aren't going to leave here thinking that. And so they're going to go out there and explode this healthcare system. So it's been very helpful from the standpoint of our program, just in getting our students some real life experience and some contact with the system, and some reality sets in. And they no longer have delusions of grandeur.
Well, they can if they like, and we're gentle. We all are gentle with them. But the synergy of this, one of the wonderful outcomes for me is they are now in the system, and I can talk to them in very targeted ways. There is nothing homogenous about the health sciences. As I say, there are those in the pre-concentrations going into grad school. There's the general degree. There's nursing. There are folks who are going into medicine. There are folks who are going into physician's assistant. So I tell them in this class, put yourself into the degree that you are ultimately going to get. So now I can talk to them in a targeted way. An example is like an employer in residence. I have someone coming who on this week who is the leader in medical scribe positions. These are ideal positions for folks who are going into medicine, and I also just learned folks who are going into nursing eventually, either nursing students now or those who are going to go after they graduate for the next degree. So it's been marvelous, and it generates people coming in to ask about resumes or interviewing as well. It's been a win-win for me.
And before this synergy, we truly had faculty telling students when they came for precepting, go home and look at the want ads for the medical systems by your house and see what positions are available for people who have bachelor's degrees. And think about those. Because without the synergy, it was much less rich for the students, and now it can help them so much in planning their own educational outcomes and having some successful results.
And even just figuring out the titles, job titles. Every hospital calls a patient navigator something different. So I actually took Peg's pie chart and created a second sheet with the names of jobs, so that students, they're beginning to panic. They get to maybe their end of junior, beginning of senior year. Maybe, what if I don't get into grad school? Or what am I going to do with this bachelor's? I better make sure it's okay. A lot of anxiety, and I hand them that sheet. They can start to do their homework about what else is there. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to touch on, thank you, Peg. And I wanted to touch on some other partnerships that have occurred. Linda Wharton, of course, all about law school and the pre-law students. She has involved our colleague Patrick Burns in activities. They have a bus trip also that goes to the premier event for students thinking about law school, going to this trip up in North Jersey. And this is Rick Mulvihill, who has been really our best friend from the very beginning. Partners, shares events that he does, we share events with him. We go back and forth about who's coming to the career fair that his students want to know about. So again, as Tara and Dana had said, all on the same page with a lot of different events and cross-promoting each other's. Quickly, Again, the STEM community, this is Patrick Burns. We do this with a lot of professors in a lot of different areas, working on a regular basis with those who are, sorry, my fly-ins. He is advising them. Many professors are, we're delighted to know, are also incorporating career exploration into their classes. So they build the relationship with us. And we in the Career Center know, and advising knows, when it comes from faculty, you may think they're ignoring you, but it's a lot more powerful than it is coming from just us. So Tate, another wonderful partner with the Career Center. Again, Patrick goes into his classes regularly, and it's just the presence of being there that the professor is saying, look, you need to pay attention to this. You need to start thinking about this. It's your career. In arts and entertainment and communication, Christy works with the professors in the literature program to do career panels, giving a broad range of options that students can engage with, and the free pizza that the alumni share with us. Education also, yes, it's a homogenous group, but they're not easy to work with, as in the sense of they're very focused on what they're doing now and not thinking about they're going to have to interview. They think school starts in September and they get hired maybe 2 weeks before. But we do interview days here on campus that are set up with the school districts, and our colleague Jacob Helmezi has set up required mock interviews. The resumes are thoroughly reviewed before. It's a requirement of the education program. So they are in far better shape, we hope, than not having had this exposure. So I hope that you have taken away some other ideas of what you can do to work with us in the Career Center, and that you can identify those of us who work with the students in the career communities that you are involved with. So no idea is too far-fetched to consider, and we would welcome the opportunity to work with you. So thank you, and thank you, Paula.